We're going to talk about Pete Hegseth. Mainstream media is, at this point, like a week late.
Donald Trump, his choices for his cabinet are coming under increasing fire, possibly facing confirmation battles in the Republican-controlled Senate.
They're talking about the settlement that Pete Hegseth engaged in with a woman who credibly accused him of sexual assault, and also the tattoos that he has that caused him to not participate in the inauguration, even though he's a part of the National Guard. Why was he not allowed to participate in the inauguration as a part of the National Guard? Because he has right-wing extremist Christian fundamentalist tattoos. He has the Deus Vult tattoo on his arm, and he has the Jerusalem cross on his chest. Both of these are white nationalist, Christian nationalist tattoos. Source? Well, you're about to see it in a second. It's so funny to go source on Christian nationalist tattoos because it's on his body. And not only is it on his body, he wrote an entire book about how pissed he was that they wouldn't let him participate in the inauguration because of his tattoos.
Well, Donald Trump ran as a disruptor, promising to shatter the status quo. And based on his cabinet picks, he intends to make good on that promise if he can get them confirmed.
These are disruptors. They are. I think that's by design.
Questions continue to grow over Trump's choice for defense secretary.
How are they disruptors when they staff basically the entirety of the apparatus? Yeah, they're not real disruptors, I guess. There are certain aspects of it that is disruptive. Having someone like Pete Hegseth run the DOD is unique, okay? It is unique because he does not have the adequate experience. Like, he is now placed on top of an organization that is literally in charge of 3 million employees, okay? That's crazy. You can't have someone who is a weekend Fox News host do that job, like, out of nowhere. He does not have adequate work experience. Like, that's crazy. That is definitely disruptive, okay? Or Matt Gaetz has no relevant experience with the exception of being in the crosshairs of the legal system. The only relevant experience Matt Gaetz has to be Attorney General is that he has been investigated by the Department of Justice. That's it. That's an insane thing to do, to put him in the top cop slot.
Fox News host Pete Hegseth, his attorney confirming Hegseth paid a woman who accused him of sexual assault in 2017 as part of a settlement agreement, though claiming the encounter was consensual. Trump was made aware of the incident shortly after he named Hegseth to the position and is standing by him. His team saying that Hegseth has vigorously denied any and all accusations and no charges were filed. We look forward to his confirmation. Hegseth is also under fire for some of his tattoos depicting religious symbols and phrases that fellow service members flagged to his superiors over concerns they're associated with white supremacists. Hegseth saying those concerns amount to anti-Christian bigotry, posting they can target
That's crazy.
me. I don't.
That's crazy. This is anti-Christian bigotry. Once again, the Deus Vult tattoo. Here, let's look at Wikipedia. Okay, let's resort to my favorite website, Wikipedia. Deus Vult is a Christian motto relating to divine providence. It was first chanted by Catholics during the First Crusade as a rallying cry, most likely under the form Deus le Volt or Deus lo Volt, as reported by Gesta Francorum. In modern times, the Latin motto has different meanings depending on the context. It has been used as a metaphor referring to God's will by Christians throughout history, such as the Puritans. The modern application is an adoption by right-wing groups as a slogan. Deus Vult has been adopted by a slogan by a variety of Christian right and Christian nationalist groups, as well as alt-right and white supremacist groups. This usage was disseminated widely online through hashtags and internet memes. Crusader memes, such as an image of a Knight Templar accompanied by the caption, "I'll see your jihad and raise you one crusade," are popular on far-right internet pages. It is one of the several pieces of Crusader imagery used by groups characterized in the Washington Post as far-right Christian nationalists and dominionists. One perspective is that racist movements co-opt the slogans and iconography of the European medieval period to evoke a fantasy of a pure white European heritage, a nostalgic view that is historically inaccurate and has been denounced by medievalist scholars as a gross distortion of history. What is hilarious about this is that it also runs with this false understanding that these guys in Europe were white that were doing the Crusades. It's no different than the way that, for example, the Nazis hailed the Roman era, regardless of the fact that Germans or the early German tribes were directly at odds with the Romans and fought them, as a matter of fact, successfully, despite the fact that they were barbarians and living in mud huts at the time. So they also hailed the Roman mythology as though it was, Teutoburger Wald. It was very funny that they, pointed to the Romans as this like white society when it very clearly was not. People still do that, for the record. They still point to, a lot of fascist love LARPing and, utilizing Roman imagery, for example, like the Roman salute, or more famously known as, the Sig Heil. The slogan, as well as other Knights Templar imagery, has also been associated with far-right subgroups in the U.S. that merge Christian nationalism with gun culture. A Florida gun manufacturer engraved the slogan on its Crusader model of the AR-15 style rifle. The motto is also used by Christian nationalist groups in Europe. The phrase was portrayed on large banners carried by unspecified groups characterized by The Guardian as far-right marchers in 2017 in Warsaw, Poland. So, yes, having a Deus Vult tattoo is weird and suspicious. It's especially weird and suspicious when you have also very openly, as Pete Hegseth has, said unimaginably racist things. Once again, we are looking at, symbols, okay? We're looking at symbols to indicate whether or not this person has weird opinions when he's openly stating his weird opinions. He's openly stating his violent desires with regular frequency. That's it.
I don't give a damn. But this type of targeting of Christians, conservatives, patriots, and everyday Americans will stop on day one at Donald Trump's Department of Defense. Hegseth's post notably not disavowing the supremacists who have adopted the symbolism, though he has in the past. And this morning, a growing number of Republican senators are demanding to see the House Ethics Committee report into Trump's choice for Attorney General, former Congressman Matt Gaetz.
I believe the Senate should have access to that. Now, should it be released to the public or not? I guess that will be part of the negotiations, but that should be definitely part of our decision making.
While the Justice Department declined to pursue any charges, the bipartisan committee had been investigating Gaetz for allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use.
He is legit a lawyer. Yeah, brother. He went to law school and went into private practice for a year and then immediately ran for office. So no, he does not have legitimate lawyer bona fides at all. That is ridiculous. Having a law degree does not make you a legitimate fucking lawyer, okay? Chunk Weiger, my uncle, okay? Shaky Gurga, Cenk Uygur, also has a law degree. I don't think he should be Attorney General, except he would still be more qualified than Matt Gaetz because he hasn't, done illegal shit. His only litigation experience was suing his dad's friend or some shit for health benefits.
In a statement, Gaetz saying these allegations are invented and would constitute false testimony to Congress. This false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. But the investigation ended when Gaetz abruptly resigned from Congress last week, hours after Trump tapped him to be his attorney general. Trump is making it clear he plans to overhaul government agencies, tasking billionaire confidant Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead a newly created Department of Government Efficiency.
We expect certain agencies to be deleted outright. We expect mass reductions in force in areas of the federal government that are bloated. We expect massive cuts among federal contractors and others who are overbilling the federal government.
Ramaswamy and Musk there by Trump's side at the fight this weekend. So too was his pick for Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, one of the nation's top fracking CEOs. Wright has fiercely criticized the existence of a climate crisis.
There is no climate crisis, and we're not in the midst of an energy transition either.
That's crazy. Yeah, the climate crisis isn't happening. It's fine. Please don't look at Florida, okay? It's normal. Florida likes being underwater, okay? The climate crisis isn't happening. Parts of North Carolina that are elevated in the mountainside are supposed to be underwater. That's just how things work. It's called weather, guys. Come on, it's called climate, right? Hey, please. Asheville, North Carolina? Yeah, no, that area is supposed to be underwater. It likes it. It likes being underwater. It feels good as fuck for Asheville, North Carolina to be underwater, actually. Please, Yeah, 100-year droughts or floods happen every year. That's right there in the name. Whenever climate scientists, which are, by the way, woke and gay, so obviously we don't believe them, okay? Whenever they say, hey guys, it's kind of crazy that this once in a lifetime weather event is occurring now twice a year, you should look away. They're just lying. Yeah, if the climate didn't change, we'd get bored of the climate. Who wants seasons in the normal way that people experience them?
Wright, who has no government experience, has argued the impacts of climate change are overblown. But scientists agree humans are causing global warming and climate change. This year is shaping up to be the hottest on record, with more extreme weather events made worse by climate change expected. And
nah, dog, that's just normal, bro. It feels good. It feels good as fuck for the areas impacted like this. It's like they're cleaning it. You know what I mean? Like, think about it this way. Your car gets dirty, you get it washed, right? Like, that's kind of what's going on here. Is that the attitude? Is that what we're going to be doing in the future? You know, we're just power washing a lot of these places. Yeah. It's like going through a cleanse. I've got relatives that say Asheville floods were a result of God's punishment because of the liberal hedonistic center of North Carolina. Jeez, Lord mercy.
Expected. And leading health experts continue to sound the alarm about Trump's choice to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. A prominent vaccine skeptic, Kennedy is deeply suspicious of mainstream medicine and has vowed to reshape the U.S. health system.
I am outraged because lives are at stake here.
I hate this conversation because, like, parts of what Robert F. Kennedy says about American food is objectively correct, okay? Parts about regulatory capture, also correct. He is the worst person to say it, however, and the media also routinely drops the ball. One passage that is burned into my mind was when RFK Jr. was talking about, like, I guess, Fruit Loops or whatever and how different it is in Canada. His assessment on certain fronts is completely correct, but his solution is incorrect. The real problem here isn't RFK saying he wants to make food healthy. That's a good and honorable goal. The real problem is he is not going to do that with this current administration, okay? Because his solution is deregulation, not correct regulation and anti-corruption, but instead deregulation. When you deregulate, you don't arrive magically at a Canadian-style fucking form of a regulatory agency. They have more regulation there. They have more regulation in Europe. That's the reason why they don't have these fucking chemicals in their food.
HHS, who is one of the biggest deniers of vaccines in our country, would undermine the confidence in that program and likely would cost lives.
Even the conservative editorial board of the Rupert Murdoch-owned New York Post, writing the overriding rule of medicine is first, do no harm. We're certain installing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to head Health and Human Services breaks this rule. Kennedy, who has railed against processed foods and criticized Trump's diet, seen this weekend posing with the president-elect over a meal of McDonald's.
Now, overnight, Trump naming Brendan Carr to be FCC commissioner. He's served there since 2012, received high praise from Elon Musk, and notably wrote a chapter of the Project 2025 policy book on how he would run the FCC. The big question for all of these nominees, of course, can they get confirmed in the Senate? And if not, will Trump urge the Senate to waive its confirmation responsibilities to push them through via recess appointments? George?
Yes, this is a real attest to the Republican-led Senate. Okay, Mary, thanks very much.
Yeah. Also, Donald Trump has officially confirmed that he is going to do mass deportation with use of military assets. It is virtually impossible for him to conduct mass deportations with the current existing ICE structure. There's simply not enough people to be able to engage in this. And now he is talking about deploying the American military on U.S. soil. This is legitimately terrifying.